Hello and welcome back to Elder Insights, a cozy space where we honor the quiet beauty of growing older and explore the small, tender habits that help us feel more like ourselves again. Maybe your mornings have changed, the way your body moves, the thoughts that greet you before your feet touch the floor. Some days begin gently, others not so much. There's a stiffness in the knees, a slowness in the breath, and sometimes even the sun feels like it's rising too fast. But here's the truth, spoken with care. You deserve mornings that meet you where you are. You deserve rhythms that feel kind to your body and gentle to your heart. You don't need a complicated routine. No pressure, no perfection. In this video, you'll discover 5 small morning habits that many women over 60 quietly swear by. Habits that ease the body, clear the mind, and create a calm foundation for the day ahead. And here's the lovely part. They're so simple, you might wonder why no one ever told you sooner. So if you've ever longed for a gentler way to greet the day, one that doesn't ask for more, but helps you feel more like yourself, then stay with me. And if these soft rhythms speak to something inside you, feel free to like or share this video. It helps us keep creating content that cares for where you are. Don't forget to subscribe too. And in the comments, let us know, comment 1 if you're ready to try something new, or 0 if you already have your own favorite ritual. Either way, your voice is always welcome here. Let's begin with the first habit, waking up with natural light. Habit 1. A gentle wake up with natural light. And for many women, the journey to a softer morning begins with a single choice: how they wake. Evelyn, 68, used to start every morning with a jolt. Her alarm clock, sharp, loud, unkind, would yank her out of sleep like a knock she hadn't invited. She'd wake to a dark room, already tense. Her heart beat faster. Her breath came short. It wasn't a beginning, it was a demand. It wasn't until her daughter came to visit one winter that anything changed. "You look so tired," she said gently one morning over toast. That same afternoon, she returned with a gift, a small sunrise lamp. Nothing fancy, just one of those lights that mimics the rising sun. They set it up together. The next morning, Evelyn woke before it even reached full brightness. There was no sound, no panic, just the warm glow of golden light spreading slowly over her blanket, softening the shadows. It felt like being woken up by the morning itself. She didn't know it then, but this small change aligned beautifully with how our bodies are wired. As we age, the production of melatonin, the hormone that helps us sleep, becomes more sensitive to light. According to sleep researchers, natural light exposure in the morning helps reset our internal clocks, leading to better mood and more restful nights. In fact, a 2020 study found that older adults who received just 30 minutes of morning light reported up to 25% improvement in sleep quality over time. For Evelyn, it wasn't just about sleep. It was how her whole morning softened. No more stumbling in the dark, no more flinching at noise, just waking up in a way that felt human and kind. Some mornings, she even opens the curtains before bed, letting the real sunrise do the work. Other days, her lamp does the lifting. Either way, it's light, not noise, that greets her now. If your alarm feels more like an attack than an invitation, maybe it's time to try something gentler. Leave the curtains cracked open, or find a sunrise lamp that suits your space. Many are affordable and easy to use. Because how we wake shapes how we live the rest of the day. Let the day come to you like a quiet friend, not a blaring reminder. And once that first light arrives, the next moment is yours. A warm drink and a moment of quiet to truly begin. Habit 2. A warm drink and a quiet moment. Maybe you've done this too, stood quietly in the kitchen, early light falling across the counter, fingers wrapped around a warm mug. The steam rises slowly. You close your eyes for just a second. Not to think, not to plan, just to be. There's a stillness in that moment that no alarm, no calendar, no phone screen can give you. And as simple as it seems, this soft ritual, drinking something warm, without rush, has been quietly recommended by doctors, sleep therapists, and even geriatric care experts for decades. Why? Because our nervous system responds to warmth, not just in the body, but in the gesture itself. A warm cup in your hands can send signals of comfort and safety to your brain. It slows the breath, lowers the tension, grounds the body. Many women over 60 find that they no longer want to jump into their day, and they don't have to. Joanne, 72, shared something beautiful. I used to wake up and start doing emails, dishes, whatever. But now, I sit by the kitchen window with my tea. For 10 minutes, I'm not a grandmother, or a neighbor, or someone with a to-do list. I'm just me. And that's more than enough. That's the heart of this habit. It's not about caffeine or health trends. It's about presence, a moment that belongs to no one else but you. Even senior wellness programs, from local community centers to gentle aging guides, often begin their morning routines with this: warmth and stillness, not as luxury, as necessity. So find your chair, choose your favorite mug. Maybe it's herbal tea, maybe it's warm lemon water, maybe it's coffee with a splash of cream, just the way you like it. Let the warmth fill your hands. Let the quiet hold you for a little while. Because once your breath feels calm and your heart feels safe, your body might start whispering, "I'm ready." And that's when we move, gently, kindly. We'll talk about that next. Habit 3. Gentle movement that meets you where you are. Maybe it's okay to admit that some mornings you don't feel like moving. Not right away. Not when the blanket still holds warmth. Not when your knees whisper reminders of the years you've walked, knelt, climbed, and carried. There's no need to fight that feeling. But there's also something beautiful about offering your body a soft invitation, not a demand, to wake with you. A gentle stretch. Just once, in bed. Arms over your head. Fingers reaching just a little. Ankle circles. A slow turn of the neck, side to side. Many physical therapists who work with older women say the first 5 minutes after waking are quietly powerful. Movement, light and intuitive, can help ease joint stiffness, improve balance, and even support clearer thinking throughout the day. Not because it's exercise, but because it tells your body lovingly, "I'm still here. Let's begin again." It doesn't have to be a full routine. Some women keep a small yoga strap or scarf by the bed. Others step onto the porch and do 3 shoulder rolls with the morning breeze on their face. The point isn't how much you move, it's how it makes you feel. Margaret, 66, told us she used to dread getting out of bed. Now I just stretch while I'm still lying down. Nothing big, just a small way of saying to my body, "Thank you for resting. Now let's rise." Some mornings, that's enough. And some mornings, it leads to a little walk down the hallway. Or dancing, just for a minute, with the radio on low. When you meet your body where it is, gently, without judgment, it often surprises you with what it's willing to give. And once you've moved, even just a little, you may find yourself standing in front of the mirror, not to criticize, but to connect. That's where we're going next. Habit 4, a kind word to the mirror. She used to hum in front of the mirror. Evelyn's mother, in her pink housecoat and soft slippers, would stand at the sink each morning, brushing her hair in slow, steady strokes. There was no rush, no makeup, just the quiet sound of humming and the occasional, "Well, don't you look fresh today?" Evelyn never thought much of it then. She was young, impatient, already halfway out the door. But now, standing in her own bathroom, silver strands framing her cheeks, she understands. Her mother wasn't trying to look younger. She was connecting with herself gently. Mirrors can feel harsh as we age. Sometimes we see what's missing before we notice what's still glowing. The lines, the softness, the shadows under the eyes. But what if the mirror could be something else? A moment not for judgment, but for kindness. Many psychologists who work with older women recommend a practice called mirror affirmation. But don't let the term fool you. It's not about pep talks or pretending. It's as simple as looking into your own eyes and saying one thing that's true and kind. "I'm proud of you. You're still here, and that's enough. Thank you, body. We've come a long way." It may feel strange at first, even silly, but over time, something shifts. One woman told us she started doing this after her husband passed. She couldn't bring herself to smile at anyone, so she began by smiling at herself. Just once a day, just for a second. "It was like warming up a part of me that had gone cold," she said, "and little by little, it came back." You don't need to force it. Just stand, breathe, look, and maybe, just maybe, offer yourself the kind of gentleness you've given to others your whole life. Because that face in the mirror, she's been with you through everything. She deserves to be seen and spoken to with care. And after that soft exchange, when the day begins to gather speed, there's one more habit that can anchor you to what matters. Writing one thought of gratitude. Habit 5. Writing one thought of gratitude. She didn't think she had anything to be grateful for. The house was too quiet since her husband passed. The mornings dragged. Her coffee tasted the same, but her days felt smaller somehow. So when a neighbor suggested she start a gratitude journal, she nearly laughed. Grateful for what, she thought? For the silence? But something about the suggestion stayed with her. Maybe it was the way her neighbor had smiled, not in a cheerful, pushy way, but in that gentle, knowing way women sometimes do when they've also lost something. So the next morning, she pulled out an old notepad from the kitchen drawer, just a corner of paper, nothing fancy, and she wrote, "Grateful for the sound of birds outside the window. I hadn't noticed them in a while." That was it. One line, but something shifted. The act of writing, slowly, by hand, made her pause, made her listen. The next day, she wrote again, "Grateful I slept through the night." Then, grateful for warm socks. Then, grateful I got a call from Ruth. And slowly, the days didn't feel quite so small. Gratitude doesn't erase grief or pain or fatigue, but it does something subtle. It lights a tiny candle in the corner of the room. Just enough to see what's still there. Researchers have found that older adults who practice daily gratitude, even in the simplest form, often experience lower stress, better sleep, and improved emotional well-being. But beyond the science, there's something deeply human about naming what we still love, still enjoy, still notice. You don't need a journal. A scrap of paper will do. You don't need to find 5 things. 1 is enough. And it doesn't have to be profound. It just has to be true. Grateful the tea was just right today. Grateful for the breeze on my face. Grateful I remembered a song I used to sing. When you end your morning with that small note to yourself, just 1 line, you give your day a softer foundation. And sometimes, in writing it down, you begin to believe it. Now that we've walked through these 5 gentle habits, light, warmth, movement, kindness, and gratitude, it's time to pull them all together. In our final part, let's talk about what it truly means to feel refreshed at this stage of life. And just like that, a new kind of morning begins. Not loud, not hurried, but honest. A morning that meets you as you are, still waking, still wondering, still beautifully becoming. Maybe it starts with a soft light filtering in through half-open curtains, or the warmth of a favorite mug between your hands. Maybe it's the way your shoulders loosen with one quiet stretch, or the moment you look in the mirror and offer yourself something gentler than judgment. Maybe it's simply the act of writing one small sentence, a whisper on paper that says, "Today I'm grateful I woke up." These aren't chores, they're invitations, not to be perfect, but to be present, not to impress, but to feel more whole in your own skin. So if even one of these little habits feels like something your mornings have been waiting for, try it. Not tomorrow, just the next time the sun rises, and so do you. And if this video made you feel even a little more seen, a little more held, go ahead and like or share it. It helps us keep making gentle content that speaks to your days. Subscribe if you haven't yet. And if you'd like to share, comment 1 for something you'll try, or 0 if you already have your own quiet ritual. Either way, your voice matters here. Take good care, and may your next morning greet you softly